So I've been reading a lot of thrillers lately. So today I'm going to be reviewing 4 recent reads that are all within the thriller mystery genre. You guys asked for it, so here it is. So as always with these videos, I will leave the timestamps down below for each individual book in case you want to hear about a book in particular. If not, keep on watching. I'm going to keep them spoiler free, tell you my star rating and what I thought about them. So the books I will be talking about today are The Night Swim by Megan Goldin, Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, and Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, and The Escape Room, also by Megan Goldin. So the first book, like I said, that I'm going to talk about is Megan Goldin's upcoming release. I feel bad for doing this to you because I'm reviewing it. It doesn't even come out till August, but I was just so enamored by the plot of this that I just had to read it, and I am glad I did. I really enjoyed it. So what drew me into this book is that it's a book about podcasts, and whenever I hear the words podcast in the thriller genre, I immediately flock to, because I think they go great hand in hand together. Like, they're a great combo in my opinion. So this book is told in 2 intersecting timelines. We have then 20 years ago, a woman was found dead. She drowned, and her sister knows what's happened, but she's never told anyone this real story behind it. And then we follow a character named Rachel who has a podcast, Guilty or Not Guilty, and she goes through like kind of previous murder cases where she'll figure out if somebody's guilty or not guilty. And this season on her podcast, she's actually doing a live action trial in this small town where the town's golden boy was accused of rape, and she's gonna go attend the trial and pretty much talk about the trial in every single podcast, and really dissect if she thinks he's guilty or not guilty. And then it kind of intersects with the timeline I told you about 20 years ago, because the character's name is Hannah. That sister was found drowned. Only Hannah knows that her sister did not drown, that she was murdered pretty much. And she really confides and leaves Rachel's notes, because basically, I'm explaining this so horrible, just bear with me here. So basically where the trial is taking place and where Hannah's sister was murdered are in the same town. So Hannah leaves these notes for Rachel to find, to try to help her convince to like kind of solve and help her solve her sister's murder. And we go through alternating flashbacks of 20 years ago from Hannah's perspective about what happened to her sister, and then with the trial going on now. Obviously, there's a big trigger warning in here for rape, because that is like the kind of the whole basis of the book with the trial going on. So be very cautious if you're sensitive to that subject. Obviously, I would understand if you were. And it was hard to read because of it. Quick pace read. I read this within like a span of 2 days because I really like her writing, and I love the then now kind of storyline. I've always have with the timelines kind of in that way. And I really enjoyed this. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Very addicting. I will say I can already tell this would be a great audiobook because it has the podcast in it. So I may listen to it when it comes out on audio, because there was a scene where she was doing a podcast and she was moving branches. She's like, hear that? That's where she was the night that she supposedly got raped. And I think that's going to be put on the audiobook, but I really enjoyed it and would definitely look out for this in August. Sorry to review it for you so early, but I liked it a ton. Riley Sager has been in the thriller genre for a while. I've read all 3 of his previous books, and my favorite was Final Girls. I say was because this is my new favorite. I'm just gonna say it. I gave it a 5 out of 5. Never thought I would say that, because with Riley Sager, I've learned I really love his writing, but sometimes I don't love the plot, and especially the endings of his book. I really liked Final Girls. I liked The Last Time You Lied. I did not really enjoy Lock Every Door. But goodness me, I freaking loved Home Before Dark. Again, I read this super fast. The plot was just so interesting. It had the then now kind of timeline, which again, I eat up like candy apparently. In this book, we follow a character named Maggie, and she and her mom and dad lived in this house called Baneberry Hall when she was young, when she was like 5. And they lived in it for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then they ran out in the middle of the night and never came back. And her dad wrote a book called House of Horrors, all about their time in Baneberry Hall, because he says paranormal things happened there. There were ghosts, there were creepy things, something really scary happened. And Maggie's never believed her dad's book. And he says like to the day he died, because he does die in this book, that it was all real, and it was, you know, it was a nonfiction book, and he said all this stuff happened, and he dies and he leaves Maggie Bainbury Hall. And so she decides she's going to go back there and figure out once and for all, and she's also going to redo the place because that's her job, and sell it. And she goes back there to learn things for good. If like, is there really paranormal things in here? What happened all these years ago? And I loved every second of it. Very creepy, very paranormal. This has sections of her dad's books in it, so it's kind of going along with the timeline, and I loved it so much. This would be a great book to read in the fall. I kind of wish I did, because it's definitely, there was a lot of creepy scenes, and it was paranormal, but really not. But it had the paranormal vibe to it, and I can't believe how much I love it. I know that's weird to say, but I was hooked on this book from the start to the finish. I even love the way it ended. So yeah, if you want to save it for fall, I understand, but goodness me, it's definitely a great summer thriller, that's for sure, because I flew through it like nobody's business, and it's definitely, hands down, my favorite Riley Sager book. 5 out of 5. Never thought I'd say that with his books. I don't know why. Then we have And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. I thought it's high time to read like the queen of mystery herself, one of her books, and I decided to read And Then There Were None. Overall, I enjoyed this. I gave it a 3 out of 5. I could see how this was a very pivotal and really addicting read back in the day when it was released, like in the 30s, because it's about these 10 strangers that get this letter and are invited to this island, and when they get there, they learn that it was all a ruse, and that they're all there, and like they're all there for something, like they all have crimes that they've committed, and basically, you know, stranded by a violent storm and haunted by a nursery rhyme, counting one by one they begin to die. Which among them is the killer, and will any of them survive? So I liked it. I didn't love it, but I will say the ending was superb. Agatha Christie knows how to write an ending. Goodness. It was short, it was sweet, but it, you know, it's hard to read because it was written, like I said, in the 30s, I believe, and so the language was a lot different. I couldn't really get invested in it, but I mean, if you want to read like a classic mystery, I think this is a great one to do, but don't take my word for it, because I'm not a really big classics reader, but I do want to read more from her. I definitely want to read Murder on the Orient Express, and then I think On the Nile is one of them. I'm not sure. This reminded me a lot of Clue as well, the movie. Oh, I love that movie so much, because everyone there was invited by like a ruse, and you know, they announce their crimes. I don't know if that was taken from this book. I don't know, but I enjoyed it. I gave it a 3 out of 5. It was a solid book. And the last book I want to talk about is my most recent read, and that is The Escape Room by Megan Goldin. Since I like The Night Swim so much, I decided to pick out her debut novel, which was released last year. This was really hyped, I believe, on BookTube last year, and I just never got around to it, but here we are. The Escape Room, I also gave a 4 out of 5. I really like Megan Goldin's writing. This one, I didn't hear a ton of good things, which is maybe why I was apprehensive to read it last year, but I liked it a lot. So this book is, it's all set in the lucrative world of finance. We have this financial company, and we have two kind of timelines as well. We have the timeline of now of these 4 people that all work on this team, this financial building that makes like heaps and heaps and heaps of money, and they get called to this random building in the middle of the night for this meeting, and they get on the elevator and they learn that like it's an escape room, and it says, "Come to the escape room, your goal is simple, get out alive." And so obviously they're like freaked out, because who wouldn't be? And it's about them in this escape room. And then you also have the point of view from Sarah, who used to work with these 4 people and going into the world of finance, you know, learning what it's about, and it's about the corruption. And it's just like, this is a book full of unlikable people. If you have to enjoy somebody in a book, this might not be one for you. I will say Sarah's the most enjoyable one. You'll definitely root for her, and she is the most likable one. She definitely has a moral compass, because everyone else, their compass apparently was just thrown away. I don't know, but everyone is just straight up evil. Like, you know, when you read a thriller book, when everyone's just so unlikable that you don't even care if like something happens to them, that's where I was at in this book, because they were just all so corrupt. Money and greed, and they would just backstab each other and murder, and just, they were horrible. And it reminded me a lot of The Wolf on Wall Street, which A lot of people love that movie. Yes, it was great acting, but goodness me, that just shows how much money is the root of all evil, in my opinion. And I thought that movie showed it, and this book shows it, because these people made so much money, yet they were never satisfied. It was the chase of the money, the chase of these deals, and treating people horribly and backstab. It's really about that. And the escape room, as the time goes on, they obviously all like hate each other and expose everybody's secrets, and things happen, and it was interesting. It wasn't your typical escape room if you think it's going to be one where you find a key and then you go do this and you go do that. It's not like that at all. I've never been to escape room. I probably never will be, because honestly they scare me. I don't know why. I just am afraid that this will happen, I guess. But I liked it a ton. So I don't know. Megan Goldman might be one of my new favorite thriller writers. I liked it a lot. But there you have it. My thoughts and feelings on these 4 thriller novels. I enjoyed them all. Definitely my favorite was Home Before Dark, but the 2 Megan Goldman ones are really strong contenders as well. I would love to know if you've read any of these and what you thought of them. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below, and always with thriller recommendations, because I've been reading so many thrillers this year and I am excited. Like, I've found some really good ones, so I can't wait for the end of the year to talk about my favorite ones. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.